Is life insurance a necessity or is it a luxury? I asked this question yesterday because I feel like a lot of people have this mentality or idea that life insurance is this added cost, this optional thing that is great to have, but it's only affordable for the wealthy. And that mindset is exactly why so many people or families end up struggling when someone passes away. Here's what I mean. When somebody says, I can't afford insurance, it's usually that same person that you see buying a Red Bull every day, grabbing Starbucks all the time, always eating out, whatever their thing is. I mentioned Red Bull because that's actually my thing. But the reality is, in most of these habits, they cost more than what a policy would cost for them. So the issue usually isn't money anymore. It's a lack of knowledge, and then now it's priorities once you have that knowledge, right? So here's what really gets me though. If you really can't afford it, you're stretched and you can't afford that couple dollars a day for insurance right now while you're young, you're healthy, you're working, how do you feel? How is your spouse going to be able to afford your funeral and all the bills when your income is gone? Like if you're barely cutting it and now your income goes away, how is your spouse going to make it work? I've heard people saying, oh, well, we have a lot of equity in the house. All right, cool. But do you want them to keep the house or do you expect them to sell it to cover your funeral, your debts, and the property taxes? What if your spouse can't afford the mortgage without your income? Because the truth is the funeral home still wants their money immediately. The mortgage company still wants their money. Property taxes aren't going to wait. And then even if they do decide to sell the house, you still it takes time to sell it and it takes time to close. So in that situation, families start to scramble. They start arguing. Lack kicks in and it creates panic. It creates greed, and it's not a bad situation or not a good situation. So that's why I think Proverbs 13:22 is perfect for this. It says a good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children. And that doesn't mean that it's leaving a whole stack of money behind or leaving houses paid off or any of that. It's leaving things in order. Taking responsibility before the crisis hits. That's why when I talk to somebody about life insurance, it's not just life insurance. It's a small piece of a bigger plan. When I sit down with someone, it's a holistic conversation about your retirement, your estate, your income needs, making sure that you're not leaving your loved ones lacking and you're not leaving them fighting simply because you weren't prepared. So if you want to prepare something, comment priorities and I'll send you a link to my calendar. We can sit down.